David Zaritsky for the Bond Experience. What am I doing under the tree with these gifts? Well, this is Bond brand Beyond Bond. You should get a drink. This is going to be a good one. Well, from that opening, you're getting kind of a little bit of a hint of what time of year it is. And kind of doesn't matter what time of year it is that you're watching this vlog, because the reality is, even though we've got a tree up, this is New Year's Eve day. And we're doing this vlog very specifically on this day for a reason. In 2017, we're going to take a bigger dive into all of the Bond brands. But beyond Bond, let's face it, we've got a couple years until we have a new movie, but the Bond brands that have already been established through the movies and the books, they have not only historical resonance with us, they mean a lot to us, especially the last Craig movies. There's a huge resurgence in people collecting pieces from the Bond brands. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to take a look at these brands one by one and really explore what else do they have to offer. Because let's face it, if Bond walked into an N.Peel store or Orlebar Brown boutique, clearly had in his mind that he liked this brand, he was a loyalist to it, or maybe Daniel Craig is a loyalist to this brand, and we want to see other aspects to that brand. So if we slowly pivot down here, Santa has been very good to us this year, and we've got a lot of different things from N.Peel. Now we're going to start with N.Peel because, let's face it, because the tree is up and I live in Pennsylvania, it is cold out. And there's nothing like N.Peel for not only when it's cold out, but gosh, any time of the year. Because the reality is that cashmere, and they make the best cashmere, is really transient all year round. By the way, first one we're talking about, I'm actually wearing. This shawl cardigan that you see here is a bit of a surprise because a lot of you probably don't know this, but N.Peel will make custom-made garments. That's right. So basically what I told them was I really liked their fine gauge cardigan. Liked it very much. I liked the thinness. I liked the fact that you could wear it 4 seasons out of the year. But I really like a shawl piece on mine, probably since Quantum of Solace and even before. Call me a Steve McQueen influence, whatever you want. I like the shawl. So guess what? You can actually call N.Peel and ask them to rejigger, to customize certain aspects of their existing garments. May cost a little bit extra, but it's for you. This is the only one of these out there. I told them I wanted something like dragon tattoo type shawl collar cardigan sweater. I told them I wanted the fine gauge. I told them I wanted a silver, almost light gray. 6 weeks later, I had this sitting at my doorstep, so you can do the same thing. But they've sent some other things our way. What do we have in the box? Let's take a look. And by the way, you can see the wrapping, the boxing and stuff from N.Peel is absolutely amazing. It's a very London-based company, established in 1936. If you don't know about N.Peel, we've got about half a dozen videos that you can watch in the Bond Experience. This is more about what else do they have to offer. So let's take a look. Ah, beautiful. Now, by the way, I've got to warn you, this entire vlog, we've gone themed as far as color. We've gone blue. And why is that? Well, because we've chosen and spoken to these brands about items that you can travel with. And there's nothing easier to do than to travel with the same color because you can mix and match. For example, I've got a white short sleeve shirt on. Well, that goes with a lot of different things, and so do khaki chinos, as you can see. So if I keep these color coordinations together, I can probably get away with packing 2 or 3 tops into a small piece of luggage, and I've got 6 to 8 outfits easily. So what am I trying on right now? Well, first of all, you need to know it's made out of a Mongolian cashmere, some of the softest you can imagine. Oh my gosh, I am loving this. So this is their Milano, delicious cookie as well, Milano blazer. Now it is as you can see, 3 buttons. It is forming into almost a Nero collar. You can wear it like that, but you can see what it's looking like right now. It is very fitted. Now, it is not too fitted. It's not slim, it's not skinny. It's a nice traditional. It has the double vents in the back, which make it very comfortable. This is something that you could wear either as a blazer, or quite frankly, you could wear this as a light coat. Even in 40, 45 degree weather, Fahrenheit, I would say that's probably pretty accurate. Now, I don't know if the camera can get up close, but I can go up to the camera if needs be. But the buttons on the sleeves are working buttons. And what's beautiful about these buttons is there's actually a red type of notation here. It's really a nice pop of color because you've got this dark navy color, which is, very military, very beautiful, but then suddenly you have that pop of red, makes it very unique. I love it, and working buttons to boot. You can see that the arms are slim on this, the armholes are high, and by the way, as far as, let me move the box so you can see it, as far as the silhouette on this, it's very flattering. I'm going to make sure I don't do that thing that I always do. But I'm wearing white so you can really see the blue of this. It's a beautiful color. I would actually wear this for business. You can button all three if you like to give it a little bit more form. You could wear it with jeans, you can wear it with chinos. I could see this with gray worsted wool slacks in a business situation. What's nice about this is, the reason I say this is probably a 3-season blazer is because it is cashmere. It can breathe. If you're sitting in a hot office or if you're with a client and in a hot corporate building, this will still breathe. This will not be uncomfortable. So it's a winner. And by the way, if you go to N.Peel, you'll actually see it's a cornerstone of their collection because it's a beautiful piece. It's actually considered in their coats and outerwear area, but I would challenge that and say that it can actually be worn inside. I know I'm going to be wearing this tonight. And they have something else. Now this thing, oh my gosh. So my wife actually received this box in and she nearly lost her arm. And she's very strong. So the reality is there's something very, very heavy in here. Let's take a look. And we open the box. And what appears to be, keynote appears, what appears to be their zippered cable cardigan. Now their zipper cable cardigan has a thin cashmere, absolutely beautiful. It's definitely a heavier gauge than what we just saw in either my customized shawl and the Milano piece. But as we unzip it, you start to see something very special. Oh my gosh. Folks, this is Rex Rabbit line. Now, I get it. Fur is not for everybody. I will tell you, wool, suede, leather, fur, Rex Rabbit, there's nothing warmer. There's nothing that breathes better than lovely animal. Lovely. Oh, it's so soft. Now, these Rex Rabbits, they're big, but they're really soft. I mean, I would say they're even softer than chinchilla or mink. They're some of the softest fur you've ever felt. When you think of Rex Rabbits, they're big. You think of the ones that you've seen like on the Teletubbies, essentially. That's kind of where the Rex Rabbits probably are coming from. And now you have an image of a Teletubby skinning a rabbit, so it's all good. Now, the reason I say this is not for everybody is because there is right now a fashion-forward, almost style moment going on with shearling jackets, with fur, with all types of, oh, it's so soft, sorry. So fur is actually becoming very fashionable, but it's been a style for some people for some time. So what N.Peel has done, because it's a very fashion-forward company, obviously based in London, but it is global, is they've not only tipped this, they've lined the entire thing. So the sleeves are entirely lined. In fact, I don't know if you can get this, but what's happening is the Rex Rabbit is coming out of the cuff. That's how much it's lined. You can see that it goes all the way through. I'm going to pop the collar up because damn. Now, I get it. This is not for everybody, and a lot of you out there are saying, Bond would never wear that. Yeah, well, Daniel Craig would wear it, and Bond might, because guess what? He wore a Dior off-centered zipper visiting Mr. White. So I challenge that a little bit. Now, I will tell you, this is a medium. All right, the last Milano jacket that you saw was a medium. I couldn't go into a small. I looked like a stuffed sausage. This medium is a little bit big. Now that's okay because this can be also a coat. Now, this is one of these things, yes, it's styled as a zippered sweater, but it can definitely be a coat. It's got extra room. I can put a sweater under here. I can put probably 2 layers under here because I've got a little bit of room. I'd probably go down to a small if I'd want to wear this inside, but what's great about this is, I wore this when I first got it. Yeah, I cheated a little bit. Out on the deck, and it was cold. It was 25 degrees Fahrenheit. I didn't feel a thing. This thing was so soft and comfortable. My only problem is, and yeah, it's a problem, is if you get one of these, and you have a spouse, girlfriend, uncle, aunt, nephews, it doesn't matter, they're probably going to want to steal it. So just be very conscious of that. Now, if that's the case, you may want to do what I did. This was one of the gifts that I got from my wife. Now, yes, for all of you out there that collect way too much James Bond stuff like I do, you definitely want to keep your spouse happy. This might do it. Now, not only is this a mink glove with a suede over here, not only is this incredibly warm because Mrs. Bond Experience did try this out on a walk today, and they were warm, finely warm gloves. But it obviously harkens back to Thunderball. It is a Bond connection. When they use that mink glove at Shrublands, so you've got that lovely little Bond knot, you can obviously keep your spouse warm. And hey folks, it's mink. There's nothing quite luxurious, yes, sorry Rex Rabbit, like mink. So you've got mink gloves. Not only are they beautifully designed, and again, very fashion forward, they're very functional. Not everything that's fashion forward is functional. So, where does that leave us? Obviously, the N.Peel is that lovely, amazing Bond brand. Beyond Bond, they are making some incredible things. These are things I would say that I just showed you, you could wear 3, maybe even 4 seasons out of the year. Maybe this is fall and winter. All of these are in their line. Obviously, you've got the mink gloves, you've got the custom cardigan. They are offering so much, so you should absolutely explore them. But what about if you have that opportunity to actually have a warm weather getaway? What do? So imagine, if you will, January, February, March, it doesn't matter, maybe even during the summer, you get away to someplace warm. You want to take Orlebar Brown. Come on, you're all familiar with Orlebar Brown. If you're not, there's other videos where I've talked about the setter sky. But what's great is this year they've harkened back to the 60s and even 70s to bring you a resort line. This line that you can almost imagine that Bond himself would actually wear. Now, one of the nice things is you see that I'm actually wearing their Donald. The shirt is called the Donald because it harkens back to this whole idea of this tipping. So what's happening right here is you see some of the white tipping in some of these areas. That is a style definitely from a transition from the 50s through the 60s and even the 70s. But what you can see here is the nice high sleeve. It hits actually higher than mid-bicep. And again, you've got this wonderful Orlebar Brown open placket. Now it's not as plunging as the Tom Ford Spectre polo that kind of, does the whole choir boy thing. No. This is a little bit more subtle because it crosses over, which I like. I don't need to show you all that chest hair, believe me. What's nice is it's a very flattering type of thing. Hello. It's a nice flattering type of silhouette, but it's not too tight. It's not hugging or anything like that. This is a medium. I think the medium's perfect. The small would have been way too small. Large, it wouldn't have been flattering, and it looked like I was wearing my great-grandfather's version. But what's nice about this is it really kind of gives you that resort look. But they've come out with an entire line of these types of things, not just the Donald. Let's take a look at some other pieces. So this is aptly named, get ready for this, the Pierce. I don't know if it's after Pierce Brosnan or not, but what it basically is their toweling fabric, and it's a very fine toweling fabric. It doesn't have the big loops or anything like that, but what they've done is they've made it into more of the traditional type of sweatshirt. You can imagine this, wearing this after the pool, even in the evening. You could wear this with a light jacket over it. But what's nice is it's got the banded bottom. It's got a pretty thin silhouette. You can see here, it's going to take a little bit of breaking in. But the coolest part about this is in the back. Take a look at the different details of the back. I hope it's picking it up. What I loved about the back here is that it's one of these things that, again, it's these little tiny details. It's not the typical, hey, look, here's the stitching around the armhole. It delivers something different, which I really like. And by the way, they've even thought about some of the new resort wear style with their traditional things. Now, you're all familiar with the Sky Setter. I don't need to show you another one of these. But here we have the Bulldog. Now the Bulldog, they've actually redone, look at that, in the white piping. So it's that traditional Bulldog which has the longer inseam than the Setter, so it's a little bit more forgiving. Whoever out there thinks that the Setter is too shockingly revealing, but it's got those wonderful tabs, it's got all the great details, but in addition it shows this type of white piping, just like you saw on the Donald shirt, just like you see on the side. So again, it makes it look even a little bit more nostalgic and a little bit more vintage. And again, Orlebar Brown and I, we chose blue because they all kind of go together. I'm sorry guys, it makes it so easy. But let's show you one final piece from them that I think you're going to really like. So here's the last piece, but I think it's one of my favorites because for some reason, I don't know why, it looks like kind of the henchman tops that the henchmen from Skyfall use when they're on that Japanese abandoned island. I don't know why, it just harkens back to that. But what's really cool, it is got this fleece interior. Now, it's imagine that kind of softest fleece sweatshirt that you own. It's got that type of interior, so it's great for this time of year. It's probably great for all times of year. If you have a cold evening, even in the summer, I could see wearing this. But it's got this really nice finished collar on it. The details of this, like the heavier rugby placket with kind of the hidden buttons, harkens back to this very traditional, very UK kind of base look. But then you've got this wonderful utility pocket, which again, it's just very stylized. But again, it's all in the details. Check out the back again. The way they do the stitching in back, you're going to look unique coming and going. And it's that very kind of, yes, it's traditional, which Bond is all about. Yes, it's got those military roots in the color and the form and even the rugby sense, but it's just to the left of tradition into a little bit more fashion forward, into a little bit stylish. And by the way, Orlebar Brown as a brand itself, and this is the beyond the Bond thing as well, all of their stuff is made incredibly well. I mean, the things that I've had for years from Orlebar Brown, they stand the test of time. These are the types of pieces that you'll pass down. And again, arms are not bulky. They're made for both young and old, or young in the head, maybe not so young at heart. Those types of things. And by the way, I don't know if they're doing this for everybody, so I almost hesitate to show this, but they threw in kind of gratis this wonderful little kind of backpack type thing. It's this little satchel that specifically you throw in your beach wear, you throw in some of your clothes, and then you just head to the beach, you throw it on your back, and it's also waterproof. So I don't know if they're throwing this in during the holidays with all of their orders. If they are, my hat's off to them. But I do want to make a mention, because with all of these brands, whether it's N.Peel or Orlebar Brown, it is about the people. Yes, these are products, and we're showing you things. We're going to do more of that in 2017. But ultimately, the reason I'm crowing about these brands is because of the treatment, of the customer service, the experience, yeah, you've heard me say that a million times, that the people have created. People like Adam, people like Christina at N.Peel, people like Thomas over at Orlebar Brown. Their connection, whether it's on the phone or by email or just supporting this channel and supporting you, the Bond fan, it's pretty impressive, folks. You know that we've had some disconnects with some brands before, but they know how to do it. And those are the types of brands we're going to focus when we do this series of Bond brands beyond Bond. Anyway, this has just been a taste of this around the holidays. I'm going to go pour some champagne. I hope you are as well. This has been David Zaritsky for the Bond Experience. We'll see you soon.